When Jesus rose early on the first day of the week, he appeared first to Mary Magdalene, out of whom he had driven 7 demons. She went and told those who had been with him and who were mourning and weeping. When they heard that Jesus was alive and that she had seen him, they did not believe it. Afterward, Jesus appeared in a different form to 2 of them while they were walking in the country. These returned and reported it to the rest, but they did not believe them either. Later, Jesus appeared to the 11 as they were eating. He rebuked them for their lack of faith and their stubborn refusal to believe those who had seen him after he had risen. He said to them, "Go into all the world and preach the gospel to all creation."
The last words of the Gospel according to St. Mark bring us closer to the scenes when the resurrected Jesus appeared to his disciples. Thus, a brief period of doubt and fear came to an end, and at the same time, a new chapter of mission and faith opened. In these events lies a truth capable of radically transforming our lives, if only we open our hearts to it. Let's focus on the figure of Mary Magdalene. She is the woman from whom Jesus cast out 7 demons, which marks the beginning of an extraordinary metamorphosis. It was she who first saw the resurrected Christ. How surprising it is that God chose a woman with a somewhat turbulent past to be the herald of this joyful news. In an era when the voice of a woman was marginalized, Jesus' choice breaks all conventions, demonstrating that there is no room for human prejudice in the kingdom of God. The choice of Mary is a reminder that God often acts outside of patterns and human expectations. Looking further, the disciples, Jesus' closest companions, who almost daily listened to his teachings and witnessed his miracles, did not believe Mary's words. Later, when 2 of them encountered the resurrected on the road to Emmaus and, like Mary, carried the news of the resurrection, the rest of the apostles were still unfaithful. It was only Jesus' direct meeting with the 11 that revealed the full truth of the resurrection to the disciples. Jesus rebuked his disciples for their disbelief, poor memory, and lack of openness. And how often do we, faced with the truth, turn away because it does not fit into our own pattern of thinking and acting? How many times do we need personal experience to accept what initially seems impossible? The Messiah appeared to the disciples, transforming their disappointment into a flame of faith. This reminds us that God often visits us where we least expect it. When Jesus met with the 11, he reminded them of the mission entrusted to them. Go into all the world and preach the good news to all creation. This is a call not to be discouraged in the face of doubts and failures, but to continually ignite the zeal for proclaiming the gospel. Following Jesus, Paul repeats in the 15th chapter of the first letter to the Corinthians, "Stand firm, let nothing move you, always give yourselves fully to the work of the Lord, knowing that your labor in the Lord is not in vain." What then can we take from this story for ourselves? Above all, that God does not focus on our limitations or past. He sees the heart and remembers the talents He has placed in us. He calls us to be witnesses of His love and forgiveness, without justifying ourselves with weakness, lack of time, or money. Let us remember that our faith is not based on legends, but on the concrete fact of the resurrection of Jesus Christ, which changed the course of history. May this undeniable truth inspire us every day to live fully the life to which God has called us. Let us bring light where there is darkness. May God bless us all.